Let's queer up gay culture. OnePulse donors have little chance of being refunded. What happened? People donated to the OnePulse Foundation in hopes of turning the site into a memorial. Now their hopes, and most likely their money, are gone. The OnePulse Foundation Board of Directors dissolved the nonprofit last month, and now charity watchdog organization Charity Watch says donors stand little chance of ever seeing their donations reimbursed. Ever since 49 people died in the Pulse nightclub murders on June 12, 2016, a temporary memorial was created, but a permanent installation never happened. The owner of the land once appeared ready to donate the land, but ended up selling it to the city for $2 million in October. Due to tax laws and nonprofit rules, it's highly unlikely people who make small donations will get refunded. OnePulse has returned the property to the city. I remember hearing about this on Twitter from the representative Anna Escamani, who represents that area in the legislature, and a lot of the concern was there's public dollars in the form of appropriations from the state that OnePulse will be receiving, and so she's trying to recover that money, I'm being told, and the state is trying to get that money back and make sure any of the public dollars, but I can only imagine how individuals feel.
I'm sure they could probably show administrative costs and things like that. Glenn?
Yes.
Nonprofit accountability is a pet project.
Oh, it is. And there's lots of organizations that no one bothers to ask them what they do with the money. You can go as big as 9/11. Everybody wanted to do good, and everybody pitched in at 9/11, and then they hired a company to manage the billions of dollars or whatever that number was that they raised. But does anyone really know whatever happened to it? And what level of executives took their portion of it? And is there anything left? Did they continue to do fundraising? So you take this on a more local level, like in Orlando, and people did the same thing. They gave because they wanted to do good. They gave because they wanted to make a difference. And people have to hold these organizations locally and nationally accountable for the hard-earned money that you all make and then give back. And most of you heard my speech at closing ceremonies for the Smart Right. And I said, and I stand by it, our community is extremely generous. But before you go to another event or another party, you have to ask some questions. And you need to ask, where does my fucking money go?
Yeah. And the statutes. Statutes need to change, because in politics and political donations, you have to report all of that for people to see. And if people want a refund, a candidate in the campaign has to reimburse that person. You can go online and request a check, get your money back. Why isn't that the same for the nonprofit industry? So I think
well, there's very blurry lines of what is a nonprofit. The NFL is a nonprofit. Certain hospitals are nonprofits. And their executive directors make $1 million a year. So where is that says what a nonprofit has to give back? Because if you want to throw a party, make it a for-profit. Own that, pay your taxes, and don't promise anything, things you aren't going to deliver on. So don't hide behind the I'm a nonprofit in order to throw these parties and not give anything back. And if you're doing giving it back, show it. Have a check party.
And it really, still the fact that the future of a Pulse nightclub memorial is in limbo is just
beyond.
It's just it's the cherry on the top. It's a poison cherry on top. And it's depressing to think that it just may never happen.
The real victims in all of it is the families and loved ones of the victims, and they don't have anything now.
Yeah.
I don't know the people who founded and worked the OnePulse Foundation. I'm going to assume, because I haven't seen the books, I haven't requested it. This is absolutely an Orlando story, and I hope our friends at Watermark Publishing up in Central Florida will continue to follow this and beat the drum. But that said, this is an unmitigated failure. This is a gut-wrenching failure. Here we are going on 8 years, 8 years past the Pulse massacre. No memorial. Nothing is going to be there to say, we happened. We existed. We are a community, and our presence is still felt. Those victims are more silent today than they ever have been. There was a time when we could say all of their names practically. Now, we know a few, the ones that were close to us that died or close to our friends. But this is an absolute slap in the face to them, their families, and to future LGBTQ plus citizens. This was our darkest day, and now the light of hope that we had is this close to being extinguished. So please, let's not let that happen.
So you said the city or Orlando purchased the property for $2 million? What do they plan? Huh?
From the owner.
From the owner. What is it? What are they looking?
Well, the original idea was they were going to buy the property and give it to OnePulse Foundation to kind of help them over that. And then, as you said in your story, OnePulse has returned the land back to the city. What they're going to do with it now, I don't know.
Okay. Sorry, I missed that part of it, but yeah, that makes, because I mean, if the city has it, then they certainly can still put a fund together,
Right.
or if there's any money left, force it into there. So
Right, but of course they've already dropped $2 million to theoretically get over the biggest hurdle. So
And the
hopefully something, but this, not hopefully something must happen.
Right.
And the state has given, I think, about $850,000. It might be a little more, in public dollars for the memorial. And so I want to see what happens with the state funds if OnePulse returns that to the state, or if the city of Orlando can get that money instead. Now that OnePulse is non-existent.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm counting on our partners up in Central Florida, Watermark Publishing. Please stay on top of this for us.